Streaming. And waiting for YouTube. There it is. Oh, wait. I'm going to log you in. For everyone now watching on the YouTubes. So that camera's for you. This one's for me.
Oh, I see.
Putting in Tony's Wi-Fi password because it's extremely annoying. Hopefully I put that in right. Yes. Good. Live video.
Live and wild.
Oh, I don't want selfie mode. No one cares about me. Bam. Start live video. Okay, we're live in the studio. Where's Django? Where is he?
He's
at?
down.
Is he down?
Down low.
There he is. Good boy, buddy. All right, we're live in the studio. Tony Whitefeather in his house. He's got some pretty cool events coming up. Some cool information for all of us. So we're in the studio talking all of the food and farming, right, Tony?
Food, farming, snow, slush.
Snow and slush.
So greenhouses full of stuff.
What were you originally planned for? What did you have planned for the farm today?
I was planning to go into the woods and get shiitake logs. Had them scouted out and everything.
Do you use like a map app to scout it all out, or is it all in your head?
Oh no, we reach out to people that have like cut plots already. Ideally, we find a logger that left the tops of these trees.
Okay.
And then I go with the landowner and we look out there, and we just set up a plan that
Nice.
at any time between now and then, I run out there and cut some logs. So,
Solid.
Yeah.
What kind of logs are you looking for?
Ideally a white oak if I can, like this big around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're watching you.
All right. Anyways, yeah, a white oak that was living last year.
Okay.
It has to be, essentially. Yep. So.
Because it still has all of its nutrients, water, and that kind of thing.
The energy, that tree produced has been like locked into the cambium of the wood, and that's what the mushroom's gonna feed on. So we want that nutrients in there, but not another mushroom taking over.
Yeah, so that's what because mushrooms operate via what is it called, the mycelium, or is that like the fungal network?
Yeah, we put mycelium, which is like a seed potato, into the log.
Okay.
And it like runs through the vascular tissue. Like runs through those like
mushrooms
corridors,
crazy.
Yeah, that the tree uses to like move nutrients.
Yeah,
and then then it runs through there. It kind of like goes, oh, this is my battery that I'm gonna be living on, and then it goes, let's go.
It's party time.
It's party time, and what we're eating is it kind of looking for a new home. It's a fruiting body. It's
okay.
That log is like you can hit it and it, boom, it's alive with its roots. Mycelium.
Yeah.
But what we're eating is its fruiting body, which is really a small portion of the whole organism.
Yeah.
If you will. Yeah.
I forget which, might have been, I don't know if Mark Shepard talks about mushrooms at all on his restorative agriculture book. But I was just reading about them in something because there's like whole networks in like old forests where it's like this huge network of roots, and then the mycelium, the fungal network that connects all of the trees together. Or was it maybe Jeremy was telling me that? Yeah, it was Jeremy in the podcast with him, where like this little tree can just be like dormant for like 60 years. It can be, no bigger than a couple feet, and just the right circumstance happens, and it has this huge network underneath that it's built of the mycelium, the root network for the tree, and then it blows up and grows.
Boom. Yeah.
So like what you're talking about with the mushrooms. I'm also from school. We talk about, or we had a little. There's a part where they talk about modalities and electrical stimulation, and one of the original ways they tested it was they like stitched together a bunch of rabbits, and they would poison the rabbit. So they'd like hook poison up to this rabbit, but using electricity that would poison the rabbit at the end of it. Like people were doing this kind of shit. So
whoa.
I got a nightmare when you were talking about it, even though what you were talking about is super cool. I pictured that anyways. Sorry for sharing that, everyone.
The rabbit network.
Yeah, I was like, shit. Yeah. Okay, but mushrooms. Back to mushrooms.
Yeah, that was the goal. I really wanted to do that, but that's all right. I had to put some fires out on the desk anyways, so I ended up doing some of that.
So if people, because the mushroom thing's super cool, and you have a workshop at the end of the month coming up?
Yeah, last Saturday.
What's the date?
What is that, the 27th?
Let me look.
Yeah, 27th of April.
27th.
Yeah. And fingers crossed.
Saturday, 27th.
Yeah,
we don't have any fucking snow.
Yeah. You tear the woods up going out there. I just can't do that, you know.
Uh-huh.
It makes a mess. You know, you sink in and rut around, and we don't want to be doing that. So we got to. Conditions were just great when I was last out there, and then I saw what was coming. I'm like, ah. So anyways, we'll be running out. We still need to collect quite a few logs. So
yeah. So if anyone watching this is has some white oak,
I prefer white oak. We'll take whatever at this point. We found white oak to last longer, but yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any type of oak.
All of the oak.
All of the old red, pin. You know, well, there's 20 some kinds.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what else you got going on the farm?
The greenhouse is packed tight with
all the veggies.
Microgreens, the onions, 36,000 onions jammed in there. It's wall to wall right now.
I'm gonna start a live video on my phone as well.
Right on.
We're going live on all of.
Lots of live.
Yeah, Tony's.
Because we're live.
We are live. We're live. We're in the studio. We just got done talking mushrooms. So if you missed out on that, you'll have to hit up the YouTube video when it drops. Where do I want to put my phone? Put my phone in the same spot. But yeah, in the studio. I need to get some mini tripods. Talking farming with Tony Whitefeather. We just got done with the mushrooms. All right, microgreens. Walk me through those. What do we got in the greenhouse right now?
Right now, 36,000 at least onions. They're just ready to, move. They're growing quite well. We got microgreens really cycling really hard. I'm trying to fill our normal wholesale orders, which is restaurants, grocery stores, but also we have our spring share CSA going out right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's all in? So we're week 2 spring CSA. Walk me through that box.
This week, what you get quite a few quarts of microgreens. There's radish, wasabi, sunflower, some pea shoots. What else? Cilantro was in there.
You get all those in one box?
In one box.
Nice.
Plus a bag of spinach that I went and picked during that hailing crazy storm.
That hail was ridiculous.
Oh, God. I wish I had earmuffs on in the greenhouse.
Did you guys have anything collapse out in the on the farm?
Nothing collapsed. No.
Good.
No. We had some stuff blow around, but, yeah, nothing really broke.
Well, that's good to hear because I saw some horror pictures from some people.
Ugh.
What I love about the microgreens is so the rest of the season you have these veggies. There's a lot of prep that goes into them. Microgreens, you just throw those little guys on everything.
Ready to go.
So let's go through that box because that's a big reason you and I are getting together for these upcoming workshops, videos, podcasts, live videos. What are we doing with these microgreens other than just eating them out of the container like I do?
Yeah, well, our spring share customers are repeat, and that box sells out quite easily. And I think, there's not a lot to explain to those folks how to use them. But we do have in there, really, they can go on anything. And we've gotten a few replies back like, wow, we're trying the everything approach, and it's working really well. And I'll put them on soup, you name it. But I think, some people are making maybe salads. I've heard some of that, but sandwiches, throwing them on, a side garnish. It's really quick.
Let's go. Yeah. So let's go back and forth. All right. So days I'm at the gym all day.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big snack guy.
Okay.
I just like large meals, like just massive feasts throughout the day, like
all
2 of them. So I'll come home, 4 eggs, probably some kind of potato or rice, maybe some sourdough. And then just right on top of there, avocado and a huge stack of microgreens.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the sunflower or the I think it's the radish. No, I'm blanking. I believe it's the purple ones. Radish, right?
Radish.
Yep, radish or the sunflower on my eggs.
Yep.
So that's mine. You give another.
Well, I'm just before coming over, I made a salad. I toasted some almonds, sunflowers, onion, and toasted that in a pan.
Ooh.
Chopped up the almonds.
Yeah.
And then I threw a good handful of spinach in there and just kind of then turned the pan off and wilted it in.
Yeah.
And then threw it in a bowl and then put radish microgreens and wasabi microgreens on there. And then just kind of a little balsamic and just ate a lot of it.
Big ass salad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Craving it, you know. So yeah, I did that. I don't know. It's quick, kind of.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah.
I love them in tacos.
Oh yeah.
When I make
we had tacos the other
venison
night.
tacos, taco salad, just slap them right on top.
I'm, just eating them all the time. So yeah.
Just fat stacks of microgreens all the time.
Yeah.
What about the kids? The kids like them? Well, I imagine your kids aren't as picky as a lot of.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
But I mean, some of that's probably how well we starve them. You got to starve your kids to get. But
no, there's something to be said for that. I talk about that in the gym all day. I'm like, if you're constantly snacking, I talk to some people like, you don't know what hungry is.
No,
you don't.
You'd be surprised how wide your parameters of what you'll eat.
Your palate becomes very, very open to food when you're busting your ass working and you haven't eaten. More than like people are like, I'm so hungry after a couple hours. Like, we can go a little longer. Yeah, it's okay if we don't graze.
It's a good feeling. It's a healthy feeling. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, to really want that meal is awesome. Yeah, I think they lean to the sunflower. The sunflower is cool because it is a complete protein, I've learned, and that's really interesting. And the texture's there. I think people really like that. Yeah, that's a solid standby. Radish is I think people like the tang that goes with that. It just depends. Cilantro, obviously, with everybody's a hit and miss. Depends if
Yeah, what
50-50.
What is it? I've heard some people just have more of the taste buds for cilantro. Is that what it is?
They've even narrowed it down to DNA. They say some people coding shows that they get a soapy flavor out of it. I don't know how. I mean, I kind of go with that. Obviously, DNA is the one and all answer sometimes, but there's certain times it tastes like that to me. Yeah, I'm supposed to be one that tastes like soap, and it doesn't all the time. And sometimes it doesn't. So I kind of wonder what's going on in your mouth too. Yeah, if you're prone to it. Sometimes I think it's great, but there are a few times where I'm like, this is soapy-ish, which I don't know. Again, I'm really hungry sometimes, so
right? And then it tastes freaking amazing.
Yeah. So, I think everyone's got their faves with them. The really cool thing, we do wash them. We put them through a 2-rinse process, so they're ready to go. It's something that we started on the farm that I didn't think would be where it's at. Yeah. It's one of those I'm going to try this one winter, and then it just never went away. Yep. So it's a fixture, and it allowed us to, which was still one of my dreams, is to have a year-round CSA offering. So this has gotten us closer, allows us to poke into spring earlier than a lot of farms do, I think, even throughout the whole state. Yeah. When we have these catastrophes like snowfalls right now, we're able to lean on a product like microgreens.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And still supply delicious veggies to the local community. Yep. I love it. Spring CSA, you said it fills up pretty quick. How many of those do you do a year?
44.
44?
So every week from beginning of April to the end of May, and then we take a week break, and then we enter the summer share, the core, the boom.
Let's talk about those, because that's, you and I have been shooting stuff back and forth and wanting to get the word out, because I know I'm seeing it and you're aware of it. Just I get excited because more and more people are cooking again with the Blue Aprons and the Hello Freshes and all these other box kits that get delivered to your door. But we've got great product here available to us locally here in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. So let's start talking summer share. When does it start and how long is it?
For us, our farm, it's 18 weeks.
Okay.
So it will start the first week of June, first Thursday in June, and then we go for a continuum of 18 weeks.
Okay.
That's if you get our full share. Our full share is every week,
Yep.
and then currently our half share is every other.
Gotcha.
And our stuff's so fresh, like it comes right to you from the field, that 2 weeks sitting on is not usually an issue for most people. So.
Yeah, and you've got some. Oh yeah, it's crazy the difference, like the fresh stuff and how long it can last and sit, and especially when you're keeping it in the proper conditions, how long it'll last for.
Yeah.
What's in a typical box?
Well, that's the thing that varies. You know? I think that's where like
exactly.
people get kind of entertained by the HelloFresh and Blue Apron because we're talking about a real season here. We're like, this is we're your garden, right?
Yep.
We're your garden, so we're your garden on steroids, acres of it. So.
Garden on steroids, I love it.
Right, and we take it professionally. So. We've surveyed over years what are popular vegetables, so we've kind of like moved away from ones that didn't seem really a huge hit at times.
What's the craziest one you've gone with?
Artichokes.
I suppose that. What? Okay, I don't know.
Well, it's not that crazy. It is kind of for our climate.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I would say, well, let's see, kohlrabi. I did a fava bean a long time ago. Kohlrabi, I mean, it's not so foreign to people as much, but if you did get it every week for a while, you might. It in our surveys, it was always a bit lower, depending on.
Why do you think that is? What do people not like about kohlrabi? And for people watching at home, if you on the live, if you want to get involved in these, hit us up with some questions, or some input that we're looking forward to that as well.
I would say stay away from cooking it. I think really like you're going to shredded raw, slice with some salt. I mean, it's great. It's great. I think it's, just not something people are picking up at the grocery store all the time. So then they're like, But in general, there's always the popular carrots, carrots, sweet corn, potatoes. We try to make sure there's some type of onion the whole time.
Yeah.
Have it be
I appreciate
green onions.
that.
Yeah.
As someone who loves to cook a lot of roux or just the solid base of onions, peppers, carrots, or onions, peppers, celery, like whatever I'm cooking, like it's the base. I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's medicine.
It is.
Yeah. Truly.
So walk me through the season. Like what comes out in the first box?
On the first boxes, we're still leaning in our high tunnels that are out in the field. These are unheated greenhouse type structures. So we're using some of that. I'm already even planting in those in lieu of June right now. So I've got carrots coming up in there.
Oh, nice.
We got beets germinating for those early boxes. There'll be a lot of more greens, like it'll be a little more on the lettuce side too, because we don't have any of those larger items. We haven't had enough grow time for it.
Yeah.
So it kind of morphs from that into cooler weather crops where we start maybe bumping into the broccoli, cabbages, cauliflower. Then we get some Romanesco, and then finally it heats up when we're getting tomatoes, peppers, eggplant. That's another one that hasn't really favored in really on the high side. That patch has always gotten a little smaller every year.
How do you cook your eggplant? Or how do you prepare it?
I like it sauteed until it's like a little. Or I don't mind it blended into like a tahini.
Really?
Like that's kind of one way I really like it. Roast it and then you blend it.
Yeah.
Sesame and garlic.
I like it.
Yeah.
I bet that'd be good. I've only ever had it Parmesan encrusted.
Yeah, and I think that's again another one of those things, like the very popular thing to do with eggplant, tedious, time consuming, and you can fail.
Yeah.
Somewhat easily.
Yes. Yeah, it can go very bad
like
if you
mushy what?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, there are other ways. We just sometimes just saute it in like a ratatouille style.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then when sweet corn comes in, gosh, I'm probably missing a huge slew of things. But yeah, we've got herbs. We've got, we try to like bring it together. We do a large garlic harvest, and when the garlic comes in, then we like to time that with a big basil.
Yeah.
Dumps so people can be making pesto. Ooh, things like that, you know.
A little pesto action.
Yeah, yeah. Totally.
And you're working with you mentioned the recipe company?
Yeah.
So what's that look like?
Local time. So we've worked with this lady a few years, Pat, and she wrote Asparagus for Zucchini. Have you seen that cookbook?
I've not.
Okay. She wrote that. She's got thousands of recipes on this site. She's out of Madison. She's been a CSAer for a decade more. And she has written recipes targeted towards CSA in general.
And it seems like a seasonal CSA recipes.
Exactly. Like you're going to see recipes that, you know, you may have that one item that is a little different because she's lives near Madison than when we would have here. But in general, like, yeah, you're like, oh, there's Napa cabbages in at the same time. There's these other items, and she'll have like these recipes that are great. So you log in as a member of ours into her, and you have access in her site to thousands of recipes and like quick what to do's. I really like the way she does it, like quick preparation stuff, really sensible things. Like, because I'll be honest, 90% of our cooking's in a cast iron pan.
Oh yeah, same here, man, without a doubt. It's all it's like all chopped together, mixed together, cooked together because I love using one pan. Yeah, I love the way it tastes when it all cooks together, and like I said, I love massive meals. I just sit down and I'm like, and I just enjoy the hell out of it. So
yeah, totally. So I mean, realistically, we personally have been cooking and doing this so long, we're not even using much for recipes. A lot of intuitive cooking, if you will, and knowing what things taste like and how much you want it. But I do really like the way she's chose to put some of that together and get a few ideas, different ideas.
Yeah,
like, you know,
for sure.
So
nice, man.
Yeah.
What else we got going on the farm?
Well, we like to do a few tours in the summer. That's always fun. Get you connected with your food, and I think that's, to me, that's the biggest thing. If we stand back and look at us as an organism on this planet, you know, our closest relationship we have to it is how we choose to eat from it. And so, you know, I think, you know, being in the community, having our farm feed our locals is like, you know, instead of being part of this big industrial stream, if you're that tundra swan flying over, what does that look like, you know, versus, so, you know, I think there's a lot more to it than what's in my box. What am I chopping up? How's it feeding me? Like, is this, you know, it's organic. There's no, you know, toxic this or that. I think there's even grandeur concepts, you know, to behind the local, trying to, you know, feed a concept of how we relate with our land, you know. Yeah. So that's one thing we like to be nurturing out there, and other CSA farms as we, you know, live in the landscapes.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Digging it. Do you do the worker share out by you guys?
Yeah, we got a few already signed up.
Nice.
But yeah, every Thursday's that's our big hustle day. Thursday's our big hustle day. We are trying to get 130 boxes out, 150 if we can, if we have a good year, and distributing those.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got just looking at the Stevens Point area, you had, I can't remember, half a dozen drop-off points.
Well, the Point area, we have Century, we have downtown at Brody's. That's our biggest one. We have one in Plover. Yeah. So and then we have one in Rapids, and we have one in Wausau.
Nice.
So
is Wausau the furthest one away? How far away?
I would say, yeah. Oh, yeah. Rapids is pretty close.
Yeah.
Similar distance.
What's the furthest you would or have dropped a CSA box off?
I think that's about as far, Rapids and Wausau, throughout there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're in any of those areas and you're listening up, hit up the Whitefeathers.
Yeah. We got plenty of room.
Get in on the CSAs.
Yeah.
They've got their... how many years have you been farming now? Like doing your own thing?
Our farm, this would be year 12.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so how many years total?
Of organic farming?
Yeah.
I got to be hitting 18, nice. I would imagine. Yeah. 18 years. And So we got a bit to bank on with that. It's nice. We've built some infrastructure. Started with bare, scratched, raw land, and I've watched the plants change in health and quality over the years. So that's kind of nice to see.
Has like the landscape of your farm kind of changed and evolved and taken on its own shape with the way your guys have been farming?
I think so. Yeah. You can just see it's changed a lot. Just everything's growing. Not only do the plants that we plant grow bigger, better, and you can see that there's less disease, they're healthier plants, which I would like to think that happens to us as we eat them as well.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And then, some of the perennial things we planted, like apple trees, and we've designated some wildlife areas to help native pollinators and beneficial insects as far as pests areas. Those are growing up and starting to work and look really nice. The mushroom areas, and then we got the pizza oven there.
The pizza oven.
We got the member socials. If you remember the farm, we're going to have 4 socials this year, guaranteed for member social. We're still working on trying to get it fired up to a full-on weekly event, but for now we're committing to 4 socials. So farm tour and a pizza social afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
Yeah.
Going back to, I just want to touch on the you are what you eat kind of idea, or like I firmly believe it. I know you don't eat a ton of animal protein. You don't have like a ton of it in your diet, but you still, you've raised some animals, right?
Yeah. We've got, I think they're still a really important part of our ecosystem, and animals live in nature, and a wild forest is like my model for a healthy. Yeah. That's when the earth knows what it's doing, and we're kind of fitting in with that. And so we incorporate a lot of poultry for our fertility, and we grow cover crops. They eat it down.
Yeah.
We make use of that cycle. The pigs, we have pigs out there.
Yep.
So, and I do. I eat meat. Personally, like, I don't know, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Roughly. A lot more in the winter, but
it's common.
Yeah. About 3 times a week or so. Yeah. I don't know. We have a lot of plant-based diet.
Yeah, man.
They evolve a little faster, so
right?
I want to evolve a little faster.
Well, and what I wanted to come back to was, as I've processed plenty of wild game. Obviously, that's where I get most of my protein from. So, fur bearers, small game, larger game, and I can, without a shadow of a doubt, tell you what they eat, their environment makes a huge difference, and just what it looks like, what it smells like, what it tastes like. So, I get it. The human omnivore is an amazing machine that can kind of, you can feed it some pretty shitty food choices for a decent amount of time and it'll function.
Yeah.
But for health, wellness, sustainability, the quality of what you eat is super important.
Yeah, that I would imagine it's gonna get, that inflammation is gonna get to you at some point. Your body can only take it so long. And I've even noticed with our poultry, our meat birds we've raised, and, in the beginning of the season, the forage is different. Like, so mid-season they're foraging on peas, buckwheat, and oats.
Yeah.
And the taste of the meat versus when the fall and it starts frosting a bit, and some of the peas get sweeter.
Yeah.
And
there's sugar gets released.
Yeah, there's a very huge difference between the birds' quality throughout. Not ever bad, but just very different.
Yes.
And it's kind of neat. You know, you can start. You're getting into it when you're like, oh yeah, I like the fall ones when they're foraging on peas. That's like one of my favorite flavored chicken. That's kind of fun.
Delicious.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of beer can chicken.
Beer can chicken. There you go. Yeah.
Or smoked anything really.
Well, yeah. The beer can chicken, that is a good one.
I love beer can chicken.
Yeah.
So going back to members only, because I love the idea of that, because they're investing they're trusting in you, the Whitefeather Farms. They're trusting that in your system. They believe in your system. They're supporting it. So I love the idea of being able to give back to that group, that community, that team of people that are trusting you. So what all we've talked about a few of the things, first access to, I'm sure, all of the events, the workshops you have going on, the recipe collection from, what was the name of the?
Local Time.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got the socials going on. What else? What other perks are we offering the members of the CSA? The elite.
The elite.
Yeah.
The few, the many, the
many.
Awesome.
I was going to say the many.
It's
growing.
Yes. Well, when we have a good season, we offer a U-Pick, and it's just pro bono.
Oh, nice.
So it's quite often we have sweet corn, where we've grazed the really cream of the crop off of there, and there's maybe some of them came in a little later, and there isn't enough for a good picking for the CSA per se. So we'll open up the patch or parts of the patch to members to come out and pick, and that can happen with beans sometimes too. A few things like that. I'm trying to think what else. We've done broccoli in the past. We had a year where the broccoli just kept going and going. And we're like, whoa. We're like, I'm kind of over it. Let's let everyone, if people want to.
Stir fry for everyone.
Yeah, if people want to freeze it, put it up before I mow it in.
Yep.
That's good. And so there's some of that as well.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we do a newsletter every week, so I feel like that's a good connection. You can actually sit and feel like you're part of this farm. If you can't make it out, you can't be that connected. You get to hear my rants, my Wednesday night rants.
Is that when you type up the newsletter?
I get it started. Sometimes I'll wake up extra early on Thursday morning and finish it. It kind of depends on my mood, but
what was this Wednesday's rant other than the weather?
Right. That was the first part. Was if we didn't talk about the weather, we might talk about politics. That was in there. So
nice,
let's
really?
talk
That's
about
awesome.
the weather. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I talked about how there's no sick days when you're a farmer, just bad days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's like today's an A day or an F day. I'm sure there's no off day.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. The chickens don't care.
Yeah. Valid point.
Right.
So we've got to recap, because we're gonna end the Facebook live feed. So if people want to hear the rest of the conversation, they're gonna have to head over to the podcast when it drops on Team Early as Fuck and the Whitefeather episode. So let's wrap things up for everyone. So when again is the mushroom workshop?
27th of April.
27th of April. So get in touch with Whitefeather Organics. Get signed up for the mushroom workshop. CSA offerings, spring. We're booked, so you gotta get.
Sorry.
Yeah. Cut off.
We have summer, plenty of room, and fall. There's a good amount of room for our fall share as well.
Okay, solid.
Yeah.
So you heard it here, people. Whitefeather Organics. I'm gonna move these little phones. Whitefeather Organics. There's the man, Tony Whitefeather, in the house. We'll be doing all the info, all the shout outs and show notes on the episode. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks.
Bam. Cool.
Nice.
All right. Well, there we go. There was some live feed hitting up the social medias.
We're going live on
all of.
Yeah, Tony's in. We're live. We are live.
So,
we're live.
Tony,
We're in the studio.
we're still recording here.
Gotcha.
What
is this my phone? No, that's.
Yeah, that's your phone.
Oh, going off. Okay.
Yeah, that was my phone going off.
All
right. So, walk me through the evolution of the Whitefeather. I want to hear, I've kind of heard, because I'm super interested in all the progress you keep making on the Whitefeather mansion, the Whitefeather homestead, whatever you want. Because I love the idea of you wanting to create this fixture out at the farm that'll last generations. Like, that's why you're using timber frame.
Yeah, kind of. In a way, yes, it is. It is why I kind of want to create this sense of permanence. You know, yeah, that is one of the missions for me personally, and I think Laura has grown to see it and appreciate it, and she unconditionally gives the farm a lot. And you find yourself, right away you realize you're in for this. You're in for this farming, and it's going to take a lot of your life and dedication to do this, and it feels good to build it in a way. You want to feel that you're building it in a way that it will stay and someone won't, come and belly scrape all that fertility off to put a bunch of homes up.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it won't happen, but we're going to try pretty hard on creating this, and then, we still talk about on and off about, sending it into a conservation trust.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. So what would that look like?
Well, what I would like it to, I think essentially what it would look like, and we still have conversation about it, is that it would get set up where it would be a permanent fixture that way, and there'd be limitations what would happen to that land.
Okay.
And if someone tried to change that, they would have maybe a ton of back tax they'd have to pay out, or there's different ways it can be written up.
Gotcha.
And but I think in the end, that's something where we would like to really just kind of, when I say the end, when we're kind of like, oh, I'm tired. Okay, I'm tired too.
Yeah.
But not too far distant future, like visiting that. We've had conversation with certain people about doing that. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Because you got those big ass rocks right by your house.
Yeah.
And I think I've told you this. I love drawings. I'm a visual person. It's the reason I love Instagram. The reason I love like old paintings and pictures and shit. But like making generational petroglyphs on those rocks. Like does any of your family or Laura's family, like grandma, grandpa, are they still around in the area?
Yeah, some of them. Yep. My grandma, I was adopted by my grandmother, on my adoptive side. She's 97? She's still
wow.
Kicking it. Yeah.
Good for her.
I've been recording some really interesting stories from her. Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, Laura's family. Yep.
So get them to make like some petroglyphs on those rocks. Like
there you go.
Super powerful things that
Yeah.
kind of mean a lot to them, or even words or quotes. And then you and Laura, your kids can start to do it. Just like there it is. Like
I like it.
Over the generations.
Tell
and
the
years,
story.
Tells the story on those rocks.
Those
Those rocks are sweet, man. Like
they're pretty fun.
Yeah, for sure. And then this huge timber frame constructed house.
It's kind of like build it in a way that like good luck tearing that down, or you're gonna think twice about it. It'd be really just like sad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then we've got what's up, Django? What are you doing? Going into this. So I've talked to Jeremy about it a little bit. I talked to Jared from Ruby, because he's always working with his farmers for sustainability, making sure there's a living wage for that family. So like their kids, and I even talked about Will Schulte from Schulte Family Beef, third or fourth generation farmer, and making sure it's viable for your children, because you are talking about this longer duration kind of I don't want to say empire, but entity.
Well, I mean, you get these. I kind of look back, like our barn is modeled off of a 500-year-old barn in Europe, and these farms have these have been around out there for that. Like, some of these cheeses that we call are actually names of areas where these farms are from. And anyways, just creating that. Part of me wonders what could we say makes Central Wisconsin very different, and what could put Central Wisconsin farms on the map differently than any other part of America. Or I think that's an interesting concept to look for. But yeah, I think a sense of permanence is always a desire. Do I feel that the family's going to take it over, Cirrus, O'Shea, Indy's going to take it over? That'd be great, but I think we're all one big family, so that's kind of how I see it. So
it's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
love it. Yeah, I was just curious what that kind of looked like for you guys, and not that you're anywhere near retiring, but just an idea or something I was thinking about.
Yeah. No, it's funny because it does come up on and off. I think it's and Jeremy Solon has targeted this a few times. Like, it's better sooner than later to talk about those parts of a farm like that.
Yeah.
You know, like, what are those steps? What are your plans? What are, we got to have that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important because one day it's just there. And then if you didn't have a plan, it's like, what's going on? So, but
yeah,
I have a lot of confidence that that farm will, it's close enough to town. There'll be enough interest that in some way it's going to stay resonant with the community. As a fixture, either feeding it, teaching people, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get a couple hundred CSAs and, people are going to, it's just what happens.
Yeah, right.
Hundreds of CSAs and people are going to be demanding the Whitefeather food, and there'll be a line outside the farm waiting for those open spots.
Just ain't no zombies. We're just letting the VIPs through.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah.
So this is your 12th season, or going into the 12th season?
Yeah, well, we bought the land in 2006, and then, essentially we just had grocery bags we were handing out to friends that were willing to buy it weekly. So we were just practicing.
Yeah.
2007. And then 2008, we were like, we're going for it.
Yeah.
We're going to, get boxes and be official. And so 2008, so I guess we kind of think we started in 2007, but it was like, we had no power out there. We were running generators to pump the well, and so it was we just had to see how it went. You know? Like, yeah.
Do you have any of the original CSAers from 2000?
Actually, we do. Yeah.
Shout out to those people. Who
Right.
are those people? Let's
well,
or is there is it hush hush secret CSA list?
No, I don't per se, but I think anyways, further. Yeah, but there are
shout out to those people.
Shout out to those folks. Yes, yeah. Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we definitely do. I can think of 3 off the top of my head that have been with us since day one. Yeah,
that's so cool.
And they're great. It's amazing. It's yeah.
Nice.
So they're very healthy.
Yeah, right. They're doing well for themselves. What have been like some of your biggest like aha moments, or just like maybe, and what I mean by aha moment, maybe not so much just about farming, but just like life lessons from farming, from growing food, from feeding people, from educating people as we head into 2019.
I guess they're always evolving. When we started out, I think, one was the aha was like, we can do all this. We can do it all.
Uh-huh.
And we'll build that barn, and and then you're like, whoa, and then 3 years later we're still building the barn. And there's those aha moments. So I think, and then farming in general, that's why I really have a passion for it, is they're happening every day, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's so awesome about it.
Yeah.
There's very little monotony, even though some things are the same. But like, I would say more now that I look back is how real it is that farming this way and being part of the community really builds community. Like, truly, I've witnessed it now. I've watched kids be born and eat our food or other farms' food, or be part of this community, and in a more outgoing sense, this network we have and be part of buildings like this, and be teenagers now, and how profound that really is. And it's we used to say it, but then you see it and it's for real, and then all of a sudden a teenager's coming over that has eaten your food for a decade and wants to work on your farm, and you're like, wow, this is really awesome. And so it's just true. I mean, it's it happens. Communities here, and it's just a matter of being involved and really feeling that you're part of it and not alienating yourself from it. So yeah, that's probably the biggest one lately, is like, wow, I'm watching a community grow.
Love it.
Yeah.
I just got goosebumps from that. Love it, man.
Yeah. So that's been the latest one, and and just I'm just getting more jazzed too on how I constantly have been fascinated with fertility and what that means, and it's complex. It's like infinitely complex, and I really dig it. Yeah, I'm learning, that even more so, like we always think of disease or like an illness like being attacked by something, and I have now really changed my ways to think more proactive on that. Like, if I have enough nutrients available to that plant, is it resilient to disease? Of course, we know that to a degree, but like, how is the disease no longer present now? And I still see it in our farming communities where you feel attacked by a disease. But, and then you're on this mode of that's how I need to take care of it, is attack this problem. But I think sometimes they're bigger than we think, these problems. And so I still really get jazzed about like I started working with an agronomist and like bouncing back and forth with soil testing and trying like, bringing in liquid minerals, like straight up.
A week ago, I wouldn't have
minerals.
known what a agronomist was. And then I talked with Will Schulte because he does the same thing with his dairy farm.
Okay.
His beef and dairy farm. Like he's like constantly testing the soil. Like, what does our pasture need? What is this soil microbiome look like for the pasture that our cows are feeding themselves off of? Because that energy is going into the cows, and then that cows make energy that we can create energy from. So
I think of this story I was told a couple of years back about sheep just on part of New Zealand, just anonymously, where they were just dying at certain ages and not living past certain ages, or certain ones they couldn't figure out, there was no good reason. Then they found a cobalt deficiency and then found out it just wasn't in the soil and the plants weren't taking it up.
Yeah.
And so that just kind of for me is an aha, like, wow, yeah. So
cobalt deficiency was killing sheep. That's crazy.
Yeah. A deficiency in the soil, and it represented itself in a severe long-term issue.
Mineral deficiency.
Yeah.
And then you think about when I had human phys in school, the professor's like, all right, he shows this, like, I think he like picked up his pencil and he showed the eraser and he's like, all right, this is what you're going to learn in this class. and then he holds up he had like a big piece of cardboard or piece of paper, and he's like, all right, this piece of paper is what we know or can test about human physiology. I'm like, oh shit. And then he compared it to the table, and he's like, this table is like the new frontier of human physiology, of things we're just kind of discovering. And then he looked around the room and he's like, this room is all the shit we don't know about human physiology. Jane, go down. And come here. But that's 100% true with the soil, the microbiome, like what the soil needs. The big ones you see now are carbon, nitrogen, carbon sequestering from the atmosphere into the soil, and vice versa. Like those are the big ones we're talking about when it comes to natural or greenhouse gases. But there's probably, the list goes on. Like it would hurt our brains just to look at like actually what's going on, not just that. Those are like the big buzzwords that we're hearing. So no, man, what you're saying is makes sense to me. It rings true.
Yeah. It's kind of, so there's some big ahas, and it's exciting here, every year. That's probably why farmers are good suckers for buying different fertilizers or something. Like, we promise bigger, better, whatever. But we're finding out that we're actually not putting on a whole lot more of certain things, just finite little bits of things.
Yeah.
To balance stuff out, essentially. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about like people working at your farm, kind of the evolution of seeing the community grow, how many people have worked for you and then gone on to kind of do their own thing in the area, or farming in general?
Oh yeah. I would say majority of our first employees of the first 5 years have gone off into some form of that.
That's awesome.
Let's see. JP was one of our earlier ones, and he stayed with us for 3 years. And he, I can't say what he's doing exactly now, but last I had heard, he was managing gardens in Hawaii for an operation that took in delinquents, like big time delinquents.
Yeah.
Like they're a fortress, they put in.
You go to a big ass island, you can't really go
No,
anywhere.
yeah. He said it was for like like Hollywood star kids kind of.
That sounds like
thing.
a good gig.
Yeah. Yep. And right. So he was managing those gardens, and then he would show them just therapy, kind of like tend these plants, harvest some stuff, cook your own meal. There's no maids here,
I love it.
So anyways, he went off to do that. Hannah, last I heard, is working with, she went to a florist in Hawaii. Oddly, they both went to Hawaii. A florist, and worked for a florist there. And she did flowers on our farm and, all the vegetables. And then I think now she's moved on to working for the extension out there with farmers and stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I hear a lot of people that have been through our farm and gone off and still stick with it to a degree. Yeah. I can't say anyone that. Well, Dan does own a farm now and a catering service. Let's see.
Dan
Solberg, and he didn't work so much as he was a friend, and he set up like groups to help work out on the farm and stuff. Yeah.
And he owns Stack Farm, right? Yeah, I just met him. He's a cool dude.
Oh yeah, I knew him before we even started our farm.
Nice.
And then he helps. Yeah, I could point out the apple trees he helped plant out there and stuff like that. Yeah, and he moved away and came back and got his own thing.
Stack Farm. He did. Yeah. He was he prepped the meals for the tappening.
Yeah.
At Jeremy's. That was.
That's sweet. Right. He said he was gonna do that. Yeah, we're good friends, and still stay in touch. Yeah, a lot of people have come in and out, and and been fixtures in the community. Let's see. Robert's at Ruby now. I think he's actually helping Dave gather sap this weekend. Let's see. Yeah, the list kind of goes on. One guy that was with us a year ago. He actually was managing the gardens on Madeline Island.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So Dylan, that's kind of cool.
Those are some rad gardens. We love.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I shouldn't even say this on the podcast because it means more people are going to go there. But we love going up to Bayfield. It's such a going over to the La Pointe on the island, Madeline Island, and touring Madeline Island. We love.
Yeah.
We love that place.
Yeah.
Farmers market there is awesome.
I think we end up being a pretty good reference. If a farmer gives you thumbs up, it goes quite a ways. Yeah. So, anyways.
Nice, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've had a fair amount of people through, and we have got a good crew lineup. I'm excited about this year. So
solid.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we'll do a quick recap and record a couple of commercials, and then we're just gonna change the world through food.
All right.
We're gonna continue your mission.
Yeah.
Get more of the health and fitness space. That's my vision, my goal, to get more of the circles I roll in and the people I love, help all these people move better, get stronger, realize their potential, and let's invest into the local economy and get those local CSAs and get more people eating local.
Yeah, we're here for you, and there's room. So
perfect.
Yeah.
So we've got, just to recap one more time, Mushroom Workshop, April 27th. Hit that up. We're gonna work with some white oak logs or whatever that
oak logs, shiitake, oyster, lion mane, bunch of different mushrooms.
All the mushrooms.
We do a lot of shiitake, so it is a bit. That's the work side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we talk about many other ones too.
Perfect. So we've got that going on. People need to get if you listen to this and you're fired up, you want to eat local, you want to cook with local ingredients, you want to support local. Hit up the Whitefeathers. They've got their summer CSA shares, full and half. reach out to White. Where can people reach you?
Our website, we put a bunch of work this winter into our website, so there's quite a bit of content there, we hope. But any questions, email is great. We do pretty well at responding within the day.
Meet the Meat, CSA shares, where it's at. Mushroom Workshop right there, Saturday, April 27th, 10 a.m. I'm going to click on CSA shares. So we've got the website. We've got Whitefeather Organics on Facebook.
Yep, Facebook, Instagram, and we keep a little bit of different content on all that, so it's interesting. Keep people in touch with it. So we definitely have room to feed some folks. Like I said, things are just growing better out there. So it's not that we've even expanded that much. We're just getting more out of what we're doing. So.
Optimizing the efficiency and always improving I love the idea of the land ethic. So I don't know if you're familiar with Aldo Leopold, the Sand County Almanac.
Yes.
It's more of like an outdoor rack. A lot of hunters use it. But for me, it's in everything. Like the land ethic it's in everything, from how you maintain your own lawn, your yard. If you own a apartment, what do you do to better the immediate environment? So do you have like a little windowsill garden?
You're making sure is he chewing on the cord? No.
Shouldn't be.
What does he got? Oh no, you're good.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's usually not a cord chewer, but working on that, going to the hunter, like what are you doing to help better the public land you're hunting out of the private land? And then someone like yourself who's like in it every day, like you said, there's no off day for a farmer. Yeah. There's just bad days. So yeah, man, I love it. I'm digging it, and I'm excited to see us fill all those CSA shares this year.
Awesome.
So Tony, anything else for people?
Just reach out to us, and if you want to be part of a farm community, we'll work for you.
We'll work for you. I like it. All right, we'll be doing more of these, and you'll hear lots more details, all the details in upcoming podcasts. All right.